Hello YouTube, I'm your host Michael Patriot, and in this segment, Political FAQ, we will be discussing liberalism. Liberalism is a tricky ideology, and this isn't helped by the fact that in America, the term liberalism has been misappropriated to mean egalitarian. In America, Democrats are called liberals and Republicans are called conservatives. This is a product of the oversimplification of politics in America. Egalitarianism is the school of thought that you should accept everyone regardless of their ethnicity, nationality, sexual orientation, gender identification, and/or religious belief. But that is not the definition of liberalism. In fact, the Republican Party of the United States of America is actually full of liberals. That is, classical liberals and neoliberals. Whereas the Democratic Party is full of social democrats, social liberals, and sometimes but rarely democratic socialists. In this video, I'm going to explain classical liberalism, neoliberalism, and social liberalism, and hopefully alleviate some of the confusion surrounding these terms. Prior to the 20th century, classical liberalism was used to refer to all forms of liberalism. It drew from the writings of Adam Smith, John Locke, and Thomas Hobbes. Classical liberals believe in limited government and deregulated businesses. They also believe in the fundamentals of liberalism: freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly. Even though classical liberals believe in the freedom of religion, they also believe that the majority, and therefore inevitably the majority's religion, should rule. This means that if the majority want to illegalize abortion, same-sex marriage, or any other sins, they are allowed to do so. If they want prayer in school, that will pass as well. Under classical liberalism, there are also no regulations on business. So if a company doesn't want homosexual employees or to serve homosexuals, they are under no such obligation. Classical liberals also believe that free trade between nations is what will lead to world peace. Classical liberals believe that the government serves three purposes and should be limited to those purposes: the protection of citizens from other citizens, protection from foreign invaders, and to maintain public works that the private sector cannot provide and still turn a profit. Classical liberals believe in laissez-faire capitalism, that the private sector should be unhindered and unregulated. Neo-liberalism, although it has changed over time, is now the ultimate laissez-faire capitalism. The main principles of neoliberalism are the role of market, deregulation, privatization, and cutting social welfare. Neoliberals believe that nations should be able to trade freely, and when I say freely, I mean freely, as in no protectionism whatsoever. This means no taxes, no tariffs, no labor laws, no interventionism, no interference, and no regulation. Neoliberalism is the economic policy of libertarianism as well. Neoliberals do not believe in any social welfare programs, such as no public education, no free college tuition, no subsidized health care, no unemployment insurance, and no disability insurance, and no other social welfare programs. Social liberalism, also known as modern liberalism in the United States, is basically a response to the problems created by the free market economy of classical liberalism. It is more egalitarian in nature and mainly attempts to protect the individual from big business. Social liberalism focuses more on the state to aid the individual, unlike classical liberalism, which focuses more on the individual to aid the state. Social liberals are also more in favor of rehabilitation in a criminal justice system, unlike classical liberals, which are more in favor of punishment. Social liberals also have more respect for secularism, and believe that religion has no place in politics or publicly funded services or institutions. As such, they are pro-choice and proponents of same-sex marriage and anti-discrimination laws. As you might have guessed from the word social in social liberalism, they are also in favor of minimal social welfare programs, but only to protect the individual from big business. Social democracy and social liberalism have a lot of things in common, but have distinctly different origins. Social democracy was born out of socialism and communism, whereas social liberalism was born out of classical liberalism. So that marks the end of this video. If you like what I'm doing here, then press like, and if you'd like to subscribe for more content in the future, then hit subscribe. Remember that liberalism is a very complicated political ideology with a long and complicated history, and that this is my interpretation from my research of liberalism. Again, I am your host, Michael Patriot, and this has been Political FAQ.